Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Commander's Crypt. I absolutely love making these videos. I love Commander. Hey, I don't know if you know something about me, but I love Commander. I love playing it, talking about it, doing it, meeting the people. So there you go. Today, our topic is going to be the 15 best demons in Commander. You know, when I was making my Angels deck video, I you know, there were some good angels, but Black has a lot more fantastic demons. So many, in fact, that I've got the top 15 and then 5 honorable mentions. You know, like I said before, Black gets all the power, and then White, you know, just kind of gets the hand-me-downs. I'm surprised they gave White Avison with the indestructible. But anyway, we're going to get into it. I think you're going to like this list. These are the 15 top demons in Commander with some honorable mentions. The first honorable mention is going to be the Grizz Daddy Grizzlebrand. Now, I know, he's not legal in Commander, but man, he is just so strong. He's still you just can't talk about demons without mentioning Grizzlebrand. As a matter of fact, it truly says something about the power of a magic card when it gets banned in the Commander format. Grizzlebrand is only the only demon to be banned in Commander, and for good reason. You know, it's been stated that the player who draws and plays the most cards over the course of the game will most probably win. So Grizzlebrand possesses this ability. What Grizzlebrand does is he is 4 black and 4, 7/7 flying lifelink, pay 7 life, draw 7 cards. He's just so strong that he is everywhere in all formats. Very fantastic, most popular reanimation target. I've actually got a vintage deck with Oath of Druids, and he is just the all-star of that deck. You know, once you cheat this guy out, either with an Oath of Druids or reanimation, you are on your way. 7/7 flying lifelink, pay 7 life, draw 7 cards. So what happens is you get to draw a full grip, then swing, and then get that life back, and then draw more stuff. Very strong in vintage and Oath of Druids and all that kind of stuff, because what happens is as soon as he comes out with the Oath of Druids, you draw a full grip, and you're going to just draw a bunch of counter spells. So now you got a big fat fatty out there that gets put on the board, and all your opponent's got is like a 1/1 or something small maybe, and now you're just able to hold your opponent down with counter spells. Grizzlebrand, he's totally banned in Commander, but he is so good that you just cannot mention demons without talking about the Grizz Daddy. Okay, next honorable mention is going to be Rakshasa Debaser, 2 black and 4. He's a demon, cat demon. Whenever Rakshasa Debaser attacks, put target creature from defending player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Encore 6, 2 black and 6. Exile this card from your graveyard. For each opponent, create a token copy that attacks an opponent this turn. They gain haste. Sacrifice them. Activate only as a sorcery. So even after you play him and you really disrupt the board, you can then bring him out again and use him again. Stealing from creatures from your opponents is a very powerful effect, and that's where Rakshasa Debaser really shines. Good thing he's not. If he was a flyer, he'd be way up higher on this list. Easily chumped, but he has an attack trigger, so there you go. Next honorable mention is going to be Harvester of Souls, 2 black and 4, Death Touch. Whenever another non-token creature dies, you may draw a card. So whenever, it doesn't have to be yours, you don't have to sacrifice them during the course of a game. If things start getting killed, you draw those cards for each non-token creature. Harvester of Souls has one job, and he does it exceptionally well. This card will draw you so many cards, and that's the strength of these demons. Demons, these, you know, white should have more of this, and they're kind of doing that lately. If you noticed, the last few sets have had a lot of card draw for white. So, there you go. Harvester of Souls, 2 black and 4 death touch. And whenever another non-token creature dies, you draw cards. A lot of these demons draw you or tutor you cards. Very, very strong. I wish they would do that with white. Anyway, next honorable mention is going to be Overseer of the Damned. This guy is very good. He's in my Kaalia deck. He's 2 black and 5 flying. When he enters the battlefield, you may destroy target creature. That's fantastic. It's really nice. Tapping Kaalia, and he comes in attacking, and boom, you get to kill the worst creature on the board. And then on top of that, you get a zombie, 2/2 zombie for it. Then he also says whenever a non-creature an opponent controls dies, non-token creature an opponent controls dies, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token. So again, he creates tokens during the course of the battle when other non-token creatures are dying. The cool thing about Overseer of the Damned that also makes him so strong is when somebody board wipes, you can stack all of those creatures hitting the board. Even though the board was just wiped and your Overseer of the Damned was killed, you still get 2/2 zombies for all those creatures that hit the board. Very strong card. Next, another staple in Kaalia decks, another honorable mention, Blood Gift Demon, 2 black and 3 flying. He's a demon. At the beginning of your upkeep, target player draws a card and loses 1 life. He's basically a Phyrexian arena that beats for 5, and you can use him in a couple of ways. You're usually going to target yourself and Phyrexian arena yourself to draw a card, but also I've seen people kill other people with this guy if they're down to 3, 2, or 1. If they're on the ropes, this guy can get that extra damage in. You could target your opponents and kill them with Blood Gift Demon. So now we're going to get into the top 15 demons of Commander. Number 15, Lord of the Void, 2 black and 4 flying. Whenever Lord of the Void deals combat damage to a player, exile the top 7 cards of that player's library, then put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield under your control. Very strong. Again, in my Kaalia deck, it's so much fun. Tap Kaalia, boom, he comes in sideways, tapping his feet. He comes in, smashes for 7, and now you get to exile the top 7 cards and put that player's best creature out on the field under your control. You could also use this. I was in a fight one time, and I couldn't. The guy was just so pillow-forted. There was nothing I could do. The only thing I could attempt to do would exile his graveyard to win that way. So that is also another thing you could do with Lord of the Void. Next, number 14, Doom Whisperer, 2 black and 3. I mean, this guy's pushed. For 5 mana, you get a 6/6 flyer with trample. That's crazy. But then, pay 2 life, surveil 2. That is very strong. Also in my Kaalia deck, it helps set up my World Gorger Dragon Infinite loop that I can run in that deck. Because of the second part of his ability, pay 2 life, surveil 2, look at the top 2 cards of your library, then put any number of them into your graveyard and the rest on top of your library in any order. So, life is a resource, so you can, if you got Reanimator strategies in the deck, which I do in my Kaalia deck, you can just keep digging into your deck and putting stuff in your graveyard that you need. It really enables some graveyard-based strategies. Doom Whisperer, fantastic card, number 14 on the list. Number 13, Demon Lord Belzenlock, 2 black and 4. He's an Elder Demon. Flying Trample. When he enters the battlefield, exile cards from the top of your library to exile a non-land card. Then put that card in your hand. If the card's converted mana cost is 4 or greater, repeat this process. The Demon Belzenlock deals 1 damage to you for each card put in your hand this way. Very strong. Also in my Kaalia deck. With Kaalia, you want to refill your hand. What happens is you're boop, boop, boop. You're putting your lands, you're playing your mana rocks, and then you're putting down all these creatures. I've got lots of ways in my Kaalia deck to fill up my hand, and this guy helps with that. He's a source of card advantage, but more importantly, he can also be used in some infinite combos in the right deck. You'll draw your entire deck if all your cards cost 4 or more. So he works really well in my Kaalia deck because, you know, 50–60% of the deck is bigger than 4. So Demon Lord Belzenlock, fantastic guy. Next is going to be Varagoth Blood Sky Sire. He's 1 black and 2. The reason why I like him is, besides being a demon rogue, he has Death Touch. And so your opponents have to make a decision. And it doesn't matter. It's an attack trigger, so whenever he attacks, you get to boast 1 black and 1, target player searches their library for a card, then shuffles their library and puts that card on top of it. He is a vampire tutor on a stick. Every turn you can tutor for something, and it's only going to take a few of those, and you're going to have enough to win the game, get your combo pieces going or whatever. And your opponents have to decide whether they want to block with their big fatty and have it die with the Death Touch, or let him through and let you tutor that card. Very, very good. Also in my Kaalia deck, he also works really well, and this is something that a lot of people are not talking about. He works, I haven't seen him in any Ishin 2 Heavens as 1 lists. Go check out my video on that. Very, very good. He gets double that. You get to tutor for 2 things. It is an attack trigger. Activate this ability only if this creature attacked this turn. So, very, very good. Go check out my Ishin video. Varagoth Blood Sky Sire. Next is Reaper from the Abyss. 3 black and 3. He's a demon, flying morbid. At the beginning of each end step, if a creature died this turn, destroy target non-demon creature. He's fantastic. You get to destroy a creature at each end step, which is super busted. He's also in my Kaalia deck. I like value. This is value here. So with Kaalia, I get the swing. He comes in bashing for 6. And then if anything dies, at the end step, I get to target anything. And then if everybody else is fighting, this guy gets to take out something every turn. I've noticed that every time this guy comes out, everybody's looking to kill him immediately. So, Reaper the Abyss, fantastic. Next is Vilas, Broker of Blood. He could maybe be higher on this list because he can draw you a lot of cards, just like his Death Touch brethren. Harvester of Souls, he can draw you a lot of cards during the game. He's a 3 black and 5 demon flying. 1 black, pay 2 life, target creature gets -1 until end of turn. So you can ping things. You can kill things. Anything with 2 or 3, it will not be too hard to kill this thing. But then you get 2 cards for every -1 counter. It's not just damage, it's -1, -1. That's more effective. Whenever you lose life, draw that many cards. So, you get the cards when you ping stuff, and then if people are hitting you, you get to draw cards. And you're drawing for answers now. Very, very fantastic. Very, very strong card. Love this guy. He should be played more. He's not expensive either. I was kind of looking around. He's about $5 for the non-foil. So go check him out. Vilas, Broker of Blood. Next is Abnyxillus the Fallen, 2 black and 3. He's a daemon. Landfill. Whenever a landfill. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may have target player lose 3 life. If you do, put 3+1 counters on Abi the Fallen. He's a 3/3. Not a flyer, sadly, but still, that's very strong. Boom, boom, boom. You know, every time you put, and you're going to have your deck set up to where you are not missing land drops. You're going to be putting lands down every turn. So he's going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Fantastic. Abnyxillus the Fallen. Next is Archfiend of Depravity. He's very strong. 2 black and 3. He doesn't get played enough either. Flying. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, that player chooses up to 2 creatures he or she controls, then sacrifices the rest. If your opponents cannot get rid of him, they're going to be very sad. And then he works really well with, you know, Reaper Demon and Reaper from the Abyss and Overseer of the Damned. Very, 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 very good card and cheap to cast. The cool thing about him is in my Kalia deck, I can tap her, swing with something beefy, and then play him. So now I've just put down 2 badass creatures. So he limits your opponents to having only 2 creatures, and if it survives, that really hurts go-wide strategies. Again, another guy that they're going to be looking to get rid of. But in my Kalia deck, or if you set up your demon deck right, you're going to have so many threats, they're going to not be able to get rid of all of them. Next is Sower of Discord. Sower of Discord is a very potent mono-black demon. He allows players to deal additional damage around the table in the game of Commander. What he does is he is a flying 6/6 for 6 mana, and once he comes onto the board, its controller, chooses 2 players. As long as he is on the board, whenever one of those players is dealt damage, the other one loses that much life as well. Very, very strong. I use this a lot in my Kalia deck to get around things where players have pillow forted and you can't hit them. You can get around that with this guy. Very, very good. Works well with Archfiend of Despair, the next one. He's a daemon. He's a 6/6 flyer. He's expensive. I'm glad I got these when he first came out. I got 2 of them. I wish I'd gotten more. I think I got them for $5 to $7. They're $45 now, last I checked. Only printed battle bond. He is costly yet incredibly dangerous. He allows you to close out games. He's a combo piece as well. Archfiend of Despair prevents his controller's opponents from gaining life. But most importantly, at the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the amount of life they've already lost this turn. This essentially causes each player to sustain twice as much damage from any source. And there have been situations where I've had him out and Gisela Goldblade, and everybody's taking double damage. And you can close out games very quick that way. And he works very well. Archfiend of Despair works really well with the next demon on the list. Scourge of the Skyclaves. 1 black and 1. He's a demon, but he's got kicker. So for 2 black and 5, you can play this guy. Kicker him. And it says when you cast a spell, if it was kicked, each player loses half their life rounded up. Scourge of the Skyclaves' power and toughness are each equal to 20 minus the highest life total among players. So with first you put out Archfiend of Despair, then you put this guy out, and boom, win the game. Just like that. He's got stars, star. Scourge of the Skyclaves' power and toughness are each equal to 20 minus the highest life total among players. So there you go. Next, Rakdos, Lord of Riots. 2 black and 2 red. You can't cast him unless an opponent lost life this turn. But this guy's very strong. He's so high on this list because he's not just a fantastic guy in like a Kalia deck if you've got other ways to get him out. But if you're, I've seen him as a commander in a lot of decks, and he works really well in those decks because you're going to have ways of pinging or hurting people. And then when that happens, for however many damage, you know, then you swing with a bunch of guys. Now, for however many damage that was, you get to creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. That's not just once. That's however many creatures you've got in your hand. So, I've seen decks set up with this, with him as the commander. He comes out, boom, a lot of damage is done, and now I've seen people unload their hand of all the Eldrazi that they've had in their hand. Let's say you do 12 damage, which is easy. You know, Rakdos does 6 on his own. Boom, you come in, you do 12, 14 damage. That means Butcher of Kozilek's coming out. Oogie's coming out. Ulamog, the Infinite Gyre, he's coming out now. You know, all of the Eldrazi are coming out now. And if you have no way to deal with it, the game is over. Rakdos closes out games very quickly with Eldrazi and those Annihilator triggers. Very, very, very strong. That's why he's so high on this list. Number 4, Rakdos, Lord of Riots. Now, Sire of Insanity, that's the next one. He is the number 3 guy. Now, it may not seem like much. If you're a new player, you might be like, you know, Rakdos, Lord of Riots, and Sire of Insanity, they you know, you could flip them around for the 3rd spot. Sire of Insanity, also in my Kaalia deck, very strong. People that play this guy usually win the game. It may not seem like that, but it's very strong. 1 red, 1 black, and 4. He's a demon. At the beginning of each end step, each player discards his or her hand. So, boom, you play this down. I've done this with my Kaalia deck. Comes in swinging. Make sure you're in a good position to do this. You got reanimation targets and all that kind of stuff. And then boom, he comes in, and at the end of your end step, everybody dumps their hands. Now everybody is just top decking, and if they're drawing dead, they don't get to keep the card. The cards keep getting put into the graveyard. So now people are top decking, hoping to God that they get a removal spell for this guy. Meanwhile, you're doing your thing. You're whooping butt. So, Sire of Insanity, very super duper crazy Captain Insano strong card. Not enough people are playing with him. Very, very, very good. Cheap too. I think the regular ones are very cheap, and the foils aren't too crazy to get. Number 2 on the list, Master of Cruelties. So, right now, Double Masters 2022 has put out a reprint of Master of Cruelties, and I've been scooping up the foils. I foiled out my Kaalia deck, and I had all foils in it except for this guy. They were like $35, $45. I've been picking foils of this guy up for $6, $7. I would recommend picking these up because they're going to go up. Once the available inventory is out there is picked up, these guys are going to climb in value. Listen to me now and believe me later. I've seen it. I was around when he first came out, and for some reason I didn't get foils then. Maybe they were just too expensive then. There's a crazy dip right now. I would go get them. But he's very good, again, in a Kaalia deck. He's very, very good in a lot of reasons. So, he's got First Strike and Death Touch. We call that Death Strike in the business. Master of Cruelties can only attack alone. Whenever Master of Cruelties attacks a player and doesn't block, that player's life total becomes 1. Master of Cruelties assigns no combat damage this combat. So, he's legendary in Kaalia decks. You get Kaalia out 3rd or 4th turn and swing right away, or maybe swing 5th turn. If she hasn't been dealt with, people are still building their boards. There's probably going to be somebody out there without a blocker, and you can get around his attack prohibition here. And then what happens is you swing with her, he comes in, and boom, you one-shot somebody. It is a third or fourth or fifth turn kill. And believe me, you'll never hear the end of it. The salt must flow. After this happens, the salt will flow. So just so you know. But even then, you know, even if you play him, if he's got evasion, you're killing somebody pretty much every turn. Or even if you don't, he attacks. He's got death strike. So even if somebody's got blockers, they're going to be losing a guy every turn as he keeps bashing, trying to get in. Master of Cruelty is number 2. Fantastic. You can one-shot people. And the number 1 demon, in my humble opinion, Razziketh the Foul-Blooded. 3 black and 5. He's a demon. Flying trample. Pay 2 life, sacrifice another creature, search your library for a card, and put that card into your hand. Not on your deck or in the graveyard or whatever, into your hand. He's an 8/8 flying black 8-ball with trample. He is extremely powerful. He is also in my Kaalia deck. He is also in my Zeatora, the Incinerator build. Go check out my Kaalia and Zeatora videos. Razziketh is very super duper strong. You are able to tutor for anything you want for 2 mana at instant speed, goes right in your hand. Very strong. I haven't seen any decks that use this guy as the commander, but I bet he would work very well. You know, you're going to set him up to get him out early somehow. And then with an Aristocrats build or something, you've got a sack outlet, and you can maybe even do loops and stuff. I'll have to check into that. But Razziketh, the Foul-Blooded, number 1 demon. I was in a situation one time in my Zeatora deck. Zeatora is a demon dragon demon. And so there you go, demon tribal. And I was playing, and I had him out, I had Klauth out, I had Zeatora out, and I had Udvara Hellcard out, Udvara Hellkite, and I played Udvara Hellkite, and somebody went to steal him because he didn't want me to be making a bunch of dragons. In response, I sacked him to Razziketh, and his spell fizzled. I got a card I needed. I got a Crackle of Power. I then attacked with Razziketh, Klauth, and Zeatora, which was 21 points of damage. But then I got a bunch of mana from Klauth. I ended up getting 21 mana plus whatever I had on board, 30 mana, and fired off my Crackle with Power and won the game. So, Razziketh the Foul-Blooded, tutoring cards at instant speed is not a bad thing. He's very good. If you can get him out early with a reanimation like I've got in my Kaalia deck, if you can cheat him out quickly with a Geode Golem or some way like that, or keep looping him, he's fantastic. So in my humble opinion, Razziketh the Foul-Blooded is the number 1 demon in Commander. So that's it. That's my video. That's my 15 best demons in EDH Commander. I hope you liked it. Please let me know what you think. Tell me what you think. Let me know if there's any other demons out there that you guys like. I really appreciate it. Here at the Commander's Crypt, we're building a community. We don't want to just be another Commander channel. We want to be a Commander community. If you're watching this video, if you're subscribed, if you play Commander, you are my friend. We just have not met yet. I've got some Patreon. If you like what we're doing here, and you want to help us out, $1 a month would be fantastic. Just $1 a month. If you like what we're doing, we're just a channel just starting out. Every little bit helps. There's our Patreon plug. So there you go. We're going to get on out of here. I hope you love my videos. I love Commander, and I will hopefully be seeing you either soon at an event or on the next video.